All right, guys, how we doing? Uh, feeling, feeling actually a lot better today. So I feel like I'm myself right now, a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and the show must go on. The show goes on. If you guys know that from Wolf of Wall Street. So let me go ahead and hold on. I'm gonna close these. It's too bright. There we go. It's too bright on my face. All right, so good morning. How we doing? Still got a little bit of phlegm in my throat, but we'll survive. We'll be okay. I got tested for the old you know what yesterday. Came out negative, so we are we're we're back, baby. Yeah, health first. It's very true, guys. It's very true. All right, so if you guys could give me that early like, if you are happy to be here, enjoy the streams. Let's go ahead and give like a brief recap on the market yesterday, and then we'll get into the schedule. So yesterday we had a nice move higher, and we broke through some very important levels. Right, we talked about these levels yesterday, and we'll go ahead and talk about those today. We had an important 16,280 on the Nasdaq, and we broke through it, and we held above it at close. So this was a key breakout on the Nasdaq yesterday. When I saw that, I turned very bullish on the market into today. Now, of course, we don't know what happens. Anything can happen. We always want to approach every day with the proper risk management, not too much risk overnight, making sure that not a single thing that happens can ruin your portfolio. Right? You never want to be one move away from ruining your portfolio. That's just never the situation you want to put yourself in. So whether the market goes up, it goes down, we're still going to be here. The streams are going to continue. I'm going to continue to be here. So we will be protected either way. But it looks good. I like some of the levels that broke yesterday. I'll share them with you today. And then we'll go over some more stocks that I am watching. So futures, as always, earnings calendar, as always. We had some more earnings yesterday. We have some more earnings this morning. We have more earnings later today. So we have a lot of earnings coming out, which we need to be aware of. I am not sure whether there is economic news today. Let me double check that real quick. Wednesday, we have some housing stuff going on, the building permits. Nothing that I see would be some speaking from some governors and stuff, but nothing too much. Tomorrow we have jobless claims as always, and that's it. So we're a little bit light on the economic news today, which is probably a good thing. Yep, still absolutely holding Facebook. Still really like Facebook. So we'll go through it all. So earnings calendar, Home Depot and Lowe's. I want to go over those two as a pair. Lowe's reported earnings this morning. Home Depot reported earnings yesterday. Home Depot was very strong yesterday. Crazy move. Home Depot is just the best stock ever. One of the best stocks ever. I mean, Home Depot, Microsoft, Apple, these are just staples to have in a long-term portfolio. It's just fantastic. I mean, you always want to have Home Depot in your long-term. That's like one of my favorite stocks to have in there. I'm very happy to see continuing higher. But Home Depot and Lowe's, very strong. This morning, EV, very hot. Lucid, Rivian, Tesla, probably the top three there. You do have your NEOs, your XPEVs, but it seems like the money is going to probably stay within the United States stocks, the U.S. stocks, not so much the China names. So I think we actually will start to see that. I think you'll probably start to favor some of these U.S. names. At least investors probably will. So I mean, that's just a whole nother situation. I don't know, like, you guys know how hedge funds are. They don't like to. They're going towards, investing in like green type of stocks that don't have big footprints. Maybe you start to see some more U.S. favorability for the EV names. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's an idea in my head that you may start to see that. But obviously EVs are hot. It's a pump right now. Excuse me. Still a little bit sick, right? Lucid and Rivian are pretty interesting, worth taking a look at. Nvidia and AMD. Nvidia reports earnings tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Nvidia reports earnings tonight. So AMD has been on a hot streak, man. AMD has been great. Congratulations, everyone in the chat that caught AMD yesterday. That was clean. So AMD, very nice. Nvidia earnings tonight, so we'll see what happens. Want to just go over those two names. Is it too late to get in Roku? I saw you comment that last night, Seth. I was like in my bed. Seth comments on YouTube last night. Before you go to bed, is it too late to get in Roku? I know you're just doing it as a joke. But yeah, Nvidia, AMD, Netflix 700. We'll see what happens. Netflix is continuously being very strong, has been holding those levels that we've talked about, so we'll look at Netflix again. Qualcomm, this one hurts. This one really hurts. Qualcomm really upset me yesterday. As you guys may know, I had like a pretty large position in Qualcomm before Wednesday of last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, when things started to unravel a little bit. So I had about $3,000 in Qualcomm. And I took a very small win. I think I sold them for like a $200 win because the market started to pull back. Qualcomm looked like it was rejecting all-time highs, and I just wanted to jump out. Thought there was a lot of resistance there. Maybe the market wanted to start to move lower. Wanted to lock it in, take the risk off my portfolio. Definitely didn't want to hold that much into a weekend that was questionable. And now we come into this week, and you see what Qualcomm did yesterday. So Qualcomm, it hurts, man. I mean, that's just an example. It's just an example. It happens to everyone, right? That happens to me too. I would have been up like 15 grand on Qualcomm yesterday. 15 grand if I held my calls. I had December 160 calls for like $3. I think they're trading at like 20. So it happens to everyone. It happens to everyone. 3,000, not 30K. Yeah, we'll go over Qualcomm. We'll take a look at it. But unfortunately, I did get out of it. I know some people probably stayed in it. So congratulations if you caught Qualcomm. We were looking good. Then Wednesday screwed it all up. And then you see what happens yesterday. I'm not in it, of course. So that's just fantastic. Next, Twilio. Twilio, I think, is really starting up, looking really good. I think Twilio is looking really good. I like Twilio. And I want to be someone that's looking to purchase this, purchase this setup that I'm watching. So I'll show you guys that Twilio setup. Did I sell Facebook? No, I did not. I'm still in Facebook. Snow, an absolute huge move on Snow. Snow just continues to move higher. Just crazy. I mean, it's like straight up. So I want to show you guys Snow. And finally, Costco. We talked about Costco as a setup in the Discord. You guys for sure remember that if you're in the chat. But you may also know I brought it up here in the live stream, and Costco did exactly what we thought it was going to do. So I just want to go back, look at Costco, show you guys what I saw, how it worked out perfectly. Even if you took it or if you didn't take it, I personally didn't take it because the market was pretty uncertain at the time. I like to go very heavy risk off during these moments. So I'm not, it hurts a little bit to see stuff go how it should have and what I thought it would happen. But, my takeaway when I see something and it works out and I'm not in it, my main takeaway is that I saw the right thing. I was right. I can replicate, I can look at that again on another stock, another opportunity, and I can take it when situations are a little bit better. So if I'm looking at the right things, I'm happy. I know that I'm looking at the right things. I know a lot of stuff that I look at works out. You guys have been on the stream for probably quite a while, and our win ratio and the stuff we look at here on the stream is pretty good. I mean, I would say we definitely look at good things more than we look at bad things. Of course, sometimes stuff I look at does not work out, but I know just from looking at, some of the plays that I've taken and some of the plays that we've talked about, whether I take it or not, I'm happy to see that a lot of them work out, and that means that I can replicate this and I can continue to do this into the future. So I don't need to grab every opportunity that comes across my screen. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, earnings calendar. I think that is how we usually like to start here. Let's go ahead and start with the earnings calendar again. And that is right here. So let's zoom in. Number one, this morning, Target, Baidu, Lowe's. I think Lowe's probably moves Home Depot a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on that. But Home Depot, I'm sorry, Lowe's, Baidu, Target. And this is funny, Manchester United. I didn't know my friend told me they're publicly traded, but I never knew it. But yeah, look at that, Man U right there. Go Man U. So after hours today, Nvidia, Cisco, Sonos, Bath and Body Works. That's a little meme stock for you. So we'll see. I like Nvidia. That should be interesting to watch. I'm not going to touch it, but it's going to be very interesting. Thursday, tomorrow before open. So you're going to have to play this before market closes today if you have any interest, which I'm not going to. But I know some of you guys love the earnings gamble. Baba, Macy's, JD, Kohl's before open tomorrow. So Baba, I think, is going to be very, very interesting. I would hope to see Baba come back. I would hope to see Baba come back off of earnings and then let me play it back to the upside. I would hope for that to happen. Because Baba looks like such a great, just a great opportunity back to the upside if it can actually catch some steam. So I would love to see that happen. But all right, let's go ahead and get started here, guys. Let's start with the futures. Let me show you guys this very key level that we broke yesterday. This was very important, and we did it. I mean, we did exactly what we were looking for to happen yesterday. This is very clean. I mean, it doesn't get much cleaner than what we're about to look at here. So, you guys know, if you came to the stream yesterday, we were watching the 16,280 level, right? That was our level. 16,280 was our technical level, our key level to break above. If the market can get above this, I was thinking we would be bullish, right? So let me go ahead and actually clean this up. We'll go ahead and do a little fresh start. So first off, we have the nice little uptrend that's formed, right? We've been watching this uptrend. Now, on the pullback on Monday, where did we hold? We held these previous highs. So very nice. When I saw that, I liked that. That kept me bullish. What I saw was a previous high hold. We broke up, pulled back, previous highs held perfectly. That was a good step. That was the first step. That was Monday. And this is why when I talk about in the live streams that on Mondays I like to see what the market does. This is what I'm talking about. On Monday, I waited to see what the market wanted to do. The market pulled back. It held up. When I saw it hold up here, then I say, okay, this is a little bit bullish. I like to see the hold at previous highs. So I like that. We talked about it yesterday coming into yesterday's live stream, right? Yesterday's live stream, we talked about this high right here, 16,280. So 16,280, you guys can see resistance. We had previous support and previous support. So that was going to be a resistance level. Now, yesterday, we went ahead and we broke above that level. Now, not only did we break above that level, you guys already know what I'm about to say. Look at how we held that level. Look at this. That makes me very, very bullish here. The fact that we broke above, pulled back, held it. We're starting to get some downside right now, so we'll see if it actually holds up. But I very much like the fact that we broke above this key level, pulled back, held it right here, a little double bottom here in the pre-market, and we'll see if we can continue to hold that today. So for today, my main goal for today is to see whether the Nasdaq can hold above this 16,280. Now, why is this 16,280 important? We've already went over that, right? This is previous lows here, previous support back here in early November. So you guys can see, look at this little double bottom, 16,280 level. You can see how we moved up. Now we need to see us hold this 16,280. To be very bullish in the short term, you need to see this 16,280 hold and continue higher. Now, if we do break down below that level, there's always a possibility of us breaking below that level. If we do break back below that level, then of course it's just going to be about this uptrend, right? Because the uptrend is probably the most important there. So you just need to see this uptrend continue to hold if you do get a break below that 16,280. So very nice to see. Nasdaq just sort of, I love when the Nasdaq does sort of what we planned. It's very nice when you can look back and see, oh wow, like the Nasdaq held that exact level we talked about. It makes you confident. It makes you feel like you're understanding what this market wants to do. So I really like this. I like how we pushed up yesterday, bounced back off the 16,280, held it as support, and we're higher this morning. Now, of course, anything can happen. we could see this move back down to the trend line. If it happens, it happens. I think that's an opportunity. If anything, you probably get support here in this level here, guys. So right in this 16,230 area, 240, that's where I would expect support today if we do fall lower, right? Because why do I say that? That is because this is previous highs from Monday, Friday of last week, and Wednesday of last week. You guys can see these highs. If we do break below 16,280, then I'd look out for that 16,240 support. And then finally the uptrend. So I love to see this. I'm pretty bullish on this market still. I know you're seeing a little bit of downside right now. Of course, anything can happen. But the fact that we've been, making these levels, breaking above these levels, 16,280 today, that's going to be my line in the sand. If I see us drop below 16,280, then we need to be a little bit careful. But if I see us bounce off of this again here in the pre-market or at market open, then I think you have some upside, guys. So that's the Nasdaq. I like the hold yesterday. I like the push. Here on the ES, this one's a little bit questionable because we're right at these all-time highs, right? So you can see we clearly rejected once again at these all-time highs. You guys can see that right here. Just nasty little rejection here at all-time highs once again. So 47.10 right there. Nice little double top at all-time highs. I wouldn't say this is bearish. You just have to understand that there's resistance there, right? You have to acknowledge the resistance that is there. You can't go blind to it. So there should be some support to the downside. There's definitely going to be support here at 46.70. So that's going to be definitely a support level that I would be watching. You do have this uptrend. We'll continue to watch this uptrend as well. And then you have some of these previous highs. So you have these previous highs right here. You guys can see this little triple top from back here, maybe around this 46.80s. And then you just sort of watch these previous highs from day prior, right? So you have this high right here, 46.86. And then you have, these little highs right here, 46.87. So, you definitely have some support to the downside. You definitely, guys, you can see that just looking to the left. I just look at the previous day highs. So this previous high here, this little peak is around 46.86, 46.87. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Definitely watching this previous triple top as support, 46.80. You guys can see this previous triple top. And then just, of course, the big one to the downside is going to be this triple bottom at 46.70. So ES, it's stronger than the Nasdaq because it already retouched all-time highs, which is pretty nice to see. You guys can see this on the daily chart. But we need to be aware that there definitely looks to be some resistance at that level. Now, I wouldn't say this is a bearish chart. You can clearly see it's in a very strong uptrend, but it's just resting a little bit after an all-time high touch. So we'll see what happens today. Interest rate move. Yeah, it needs to beat. Yeah, the closing price. The closing price is what. At least that's my understanding of it. All right, so the Dow is starting to stall out a little bit here, I think. So here's the Dow. Let's go ahead and go over it. Let's clean this up a little bit. So the Dow, you have this uptrend that we've been sort of loosely following to see if it can hold up. And then you have this very tough resistance that came in yesterday. Look at this resistance that came in yesterday. So this is a little concerning, right? You have the 36,230, that little double top right there. That's a little concerning. Now, of course, the Dow may just trade in this little wedge. We'll see what happens. Maybe it continues to trade in this wedge and then eventually breaks out. But I definitely am going to be cautious of this 36,230 level. You can clearly see it's a nice little double top there on the Dow. Maybe we watch some of these previous lows. That's really all we can do here. So you watch these previous lows, you watch these previous lows, and then you just continue to look to the left and see if we're starting to break down previous levels. So you definitely don't want to see like previous day lows break down. So, for example, Tuesday's lows are right here around 35,950. So you probably don't want to see those break down. And then you definitely don't want to see the 35,830 here back down to here. You definitely don't want to see that break down because then you're just making lower highs or lower lows. I'm sorry. If you're breaking down here, you're making lower lows. That's bearish. So that's what I'd look for today, guys. Definitely want to see like Monday and Tuesday's lows hold up. If we go down to the smaller term time frames, we can go over the previous day lows right here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let me zoom out. So here is, let me clean this up for you. Clean that up. That's that high day. That's that retest. So here you go, guys. So here's Monday and Tuesday. So here's Monday. Here's Tuesday. This is Monday and Tuesday's lows right here. Monday lows, Tuesday's lows. So you just need to see us hold up at those two lows, Monday and Tuesday lows. That's your goal for the Dow today. If you start to see us break down below that, then you're probably going to see some downside, right? All right, so that's the Dow. Let's quickly go over the IWM. IWM looks like it's a little bit in trouble too, to be quite honest. So you guys can see we've definitely been sort of, downtrending since that peak. Now, does it hold up here at 237.50? Maybe. That would be actually quite nice if it does. Excuse me. So 237.50 on the IWM. You guys can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiple touches here at this low. So you definitely need to see this hold. Right here, 237.50 on the IWM. That's what I would be watching. We can quickly look at the RTY. It's just the same thing, but in the futures contracts. So right here, RTY, I would be watching. It's pretty much the same level. I had it a little bit drawn incorrectly. It's right up here, right at this 23.90 on the RTY, 23.90. You want to see that hold. So that's it, guys. That's for the futures. So overview of the futures. I'm still bullish on the S&P and the Nasdaq. I like the holds that happened yesterday. I like the previous. I like the levels that we broke. That 16,280 on the Nasdaq. That's going to be what I'm watching today. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with some particular stocks. You guys know Home Depot reported earnings. Broke out of this level yesterday. Now, obviously, before this move happened, let's go ahead and zoom out. Go to the hourly. So this was, before market opened, was like right here as it started to move higher. So this was just a very clean breakout, guys. I mean, this is something that you just have to sort of trust, If you didn't trust Home Depot yesterday, and you probably missed it, if you just trusted Home Depot to continue out of this breakout, then congratulations if you guys did catch this. Because really all this was a breakout and a continuation. Breakout on earnings, continuation higher, huge breakout, up almost to $400 a share. It's been consolidating here for quite some time. If we go to the hourly chart, you guys can see nice little consolidation. Here's the 4-hour, nice little consolidation since about the 27th of October. So nice consolidation, earnings breakout, and a continuation. That's really all this is. If you're looking at Home Depot today, maybe you get some pullbacks along the way, but if Lowe's reported good too as well. So maybe this gets a little bit more push off Lowe's earnings. Today, I would watch these lows here. This is the 1 minute, right down at 391. If it breaks below that 391, you're probably coming back down towards this 387. If you come back down below that 387, then maybe you get more downside. The perfect entry, which I don't think you're going to get. It would be crazy to see us get this entry, but the perfect entry would be back at the highs right here. If you can pull back to these highs, 375, that would be a fantastic entry. Now, I don't know if you're going to get that here in the short term. You might have to be patient for that entry, but we'll see what happens. Home Depot, very hot. Lowe's reported earnings this morning and is doing just as good. So you guys can see Lowe's moved up yesterday, but look at this pre-market for Lowe's. Now, if Lowe's goes strong today because of their earnings, I would expect Home Depot to move up as well. I would expect Home Depot to get a little bit of sympathy off this move. So you guys can see Lowe's is doing well here in the pre-market. I would potentially expect Home Depot to do well as do well also. So that is something I will watch to see if that continues. If Home Depot continues off Lowe's, this is a very beautiful little breakout here for Lowe's as well. So this could definitely keep going. Look at this little flag breakout here. Nice little retest of the 20 SMA on the daily chart. That's quite nice, right? Look at that. So beautiful little 20 SMA hold. Nice little previous lows hold like that. That's really clean. Congratulations to anyone that caught lows here. That's a very big move. Home Depot should continue with it today. All right, Lucid. We're going to go over all the EVs here. So first off is Lucid. Nice little move here in the pre-market. After hours, starting to give up a little bit. That's fine. I'd expect it to. Yesterday's close were 55.20, 55.52. So I would watch yesterday's close as support, guys. That's always a level you want to watch. Yesterday's closing levels is 55.52. You want to see if it can break down to there. Lucid, just a momentum play here, guys. I mean, Lucid went ahead, went through the gap fill. We talked about this gap fill on the stream, right? So we talked about this gap fill right here. Wait for it. Right here, you guys can see this gap in the chart. So what we basically did was we moved up, filled that gap. Very nice. And now we are just getting a lot of momentum in this name. So EV's hot. Lucid is a hot one. So there's nothing much I can really help you with here, guys. It's going to be, you have to accept the risk of how you play this. I can't help you on a momentum type play. The technicals just aren't really, it's not really a technical setup anymore. Before maybe it was, but now it's just a momentum play. So you guys got to do what you want to do. If you want to invest in this long term, I don't think that's a terrible idea. Just make sure you go in with money you can lose. Make sure you dollar cost average. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice setup prior to this move. Very nice. If you go to the hourly chart, you can see very nice. We were talking about this uptrend on Lucid. Never broke down. So really nice uptrend and hold on Lucid. Sort of, had some ugly days, but ended up holding up really well. And before it was a nice setup. Now I would say you're just chasing this thing if you buy it here. So you probably want to see something back to maybe to the uptrend. So we'll see. Momentum play. Lucid's hot. I would just watch yesterday's opening levels or yesterday's closing levels. 55.52. Rivian, I can't really get behind right now. IPOs usually end up having some type of fall, so I'm not going to be touching this. I know I might miss out on the short term, but I always have seen IPOs come back down. So maybe you guys can play this. This again is a momentum play. You have a little bit of an uptrend here. You guys can see that right there, a little bit of an uptrend. If we come back down to this uptrend, maybe there's some opportunity to play this, right? Maybe like something like this, continues off of it. Very possible. But again, guys, I'm just not someone I'm not going to FOMO into these names here. So congratulations to anyone that has, made a good amount off this IPO. There's nothing wrong with that. But I need to see this pull back to some levels. So maybe the uptrend, maybe these previous highs here at 135. But I need to see some pullback before I'm willing to just throw my money into it. So looks good. Rivian, momentum play. EV's hot. Keep an eye on it today. It's definitely below yesterday's close. It's starting to get beat up a little bit here, so be careful. I mean, yeah, this is the dangers of, especially of option contracts, because you can't do absolutely anything right now if you're in options, unfortunately. You can't sell. You can't do anything. You're just getting hosed right now. So, yeah, Rivian, I'm definitely going to be waiting for that to calm down. There's plenty of other stocks out there for me to trade. Finally, let's look at Tesla. Last EV. Tesla, I really liked the hold of 1,000 yesterday. We talked about this here in the pre-market. We talked about that $1,000 level, whether it can hold or not. Here you go, guys. Look at how nice that $1,000 level held, right? So hold here. A little bit of choppiness, but ended up holding yesterday. I don't think Tesla's done, man. I mean, I know a lot of people are, getting a little bearish on this move. I know you see a lot of people out there getting bearish on this, but if Tesla holds up some of these levels, I mean, it could just be consolidating, right? Tesla, it does consolidate after big moves. This was a monster move. We've pulled back a decent amount, right? Don't get me wrong. I mean, this pullback this is a 21% pullback on Tesla from the high. So it's a pretty decent pullback. I know it's still high. But that's a pretty decent pullback. I like that $1,000 psychological level. I think there will be opportunity to play off this level in the future. That's sort of what I'm trying to say. I think there will still be opportunity in the future to play off this level. There is a gap below, which I think a lot of people are targeting. I think a lot of people are targeting this gap fill, which is definitely possible as well. You can see right here. 910 to 945, you have this gap here on the daily chart. That could be where Tesla eventually comes back down to. if it does fill that gap, then I think you get the bulls feeling a little bit better, right? Because that gap fill also comes right back down to these previous highs. So if you get that on Tesla, if you get that pullback to gap fill and previous highs, that would be, I think, that would be at least my dream for a buy. That would be my serious entry there on Tesla. I'd probably go pretty heavy long at that entry. So 900, if you come back, fill that gap, hold that previous high, that would be very, very juicy, I think, in my opinion, for a nice play to back to the upside. So that's what I'd watch. Tesla looks good either way. Nice move this morning. I would assume Tesla is in play for this coming week. It's definitely one to watch. All right. Nvidia. So Nvidia has earnings today. I'm not someone that's going to play earnings, but Nvidia looks pretty good. Nvidia is flagging a little bit here. Who knows, right? I mean, Nvidia could definitely go again. Nvidia could definitely go again. There's nothing stopping it, right? What this thing could maybe pop up to $400 a share. Who knows? The expected move is $15, so it's about 5% here on Nvidia. You guys can see it's just been holding this level beautifully. This level has been beautiful here. It's 295, just continues to hold. So we're either going to get a big, drop below. Maybe we'll get a $15 drop down to like maybe this 275 area, or we're going to get a push higher. I don't know, guys. This is earnings. I can't help you with this, right? I'm not. There's nothing I can tell you here for earnings. Everything I'd be talking about is just spewing a bunch of unknowns because I don't know what's going to happen on earnings. So this could go up $100. This could go down to $0. This could go down $1. This could go up $1. I can't tell you what happens, but it should be interesting to see post earnings. That's why I bring it up. Post earnings, if we get a drop, there's going to be some nice buying opportunities. If we get a push higher, maybe we get some more momentum into this name and some of the other chip stocks as well. So should be interesting to watch. Watch AMDs, watch your Qualcomms. There may be some sympathy off this move, so be careful there. But Nvidia, earnings tonight, I think it should be interesting to watch. I'm not going to touch it, but if you guys want to, maybe you can. We'll see. AMD's been awesome, man. AMD has been awesome. So AMD had this key level yesterday that we wanted to see it break above. It definitely did that. It went right through the 150. So really nice breakout above 150. Here's AMD. Let's go to the daily chart. It looks beautiful on the daily. Look at that daily. So very nice daily chart on AMD, just holding a beautiful little uptrend. I think this thing gets towards all-time highs again, guys, to be quite honest. I think AMD is in a killer spot right now. AMD is... these names are really hot. AMD, Nvidia, all the chip stocks. I really think AMD continues. There's definitely going to be some pullbacks, maybe some consolidation along the way. So what I would be looking for today is probably a pullback to 150. If you get that pullback and you hold 150, I think that would be very, very bullish. So if you do get a pullback today, look to see if it holds 150. That's some of this previous supports, previous resistance. If you get back to that 150, that could be a nice little support bounce and then maybe a continuation off of it. So that's what I'll be watching today, that 150 level. Or if we just break above yesterday's highs, then I would assume this thing takes off again. So definitely some momentum in this name. Definitely a name that I would continue to watch here, guys. AMD looks really, really good. Looking at this here, there's a little bit of a trend you can put here. You guys can see a little bit of an uptrend. So if it does break down, definitely watch this uptrend as well. So to the downside, you have this trend line, you have this 150, and then upside 153. That's what I'd be watching. All right, Netflix. I love Netflix. I love it. I love it very, very much. So you can see we were talking about this here on Netflix. Just a perfect retest, guys. Previous highs, pull back, double bottom, perfect retest, bounce off of it. I would assume Netflix tries to break above new highs here soon, guys. That would be my assumption. Unless you get harshly rejected here at previous highs, which would be basically where we are here, and then basically a few dollars higher. So 689, and then 692 would be the two levels I'd watch. But at this point, guys, if the Nasdaq stays strong, I would assume Netflix is at $700 a share pretty soon, guys. There should be a pretty nice magnet towards 700. So I would assume this continues. I know it's a little bit elevated. I probably wouldn't be a buyer right here because you're sort of buying it at previous potential resistance. But the buy was back here. We talked about it in the live stream. We talked about it here multiple times. If I go, let me see if I can pull it up. That was, you want to be buying, you don't want to be buying at these. Look at this right here. 11/9, November 9th. So right here is Netflix. I posted charts every single day here in the Discord. So this was Netflix. Previous highs, we talked about this multiple times. 646. You guys can see. Look how we held previous highs. Turned it into support. Definitely worth eyeing. Hottest name. Could rebound here off 645. Perfect. Just absolutely perfect. Technicals. Technicals aren't real though, right? As we know from Florida Man in our stream last time. But am I a buyer of it now? Not really. I'd be a little bit more cautious. But back then, that was your entry, right? So beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Congratulations to anyone that caught Netflix. Definitely still has some juice in it though, so I would watch it. This hurts. This one really hurts, guys. I bought Qualcomm the day after earnings, and I was looking for continuation because of their really good earnings, and also because of the chip strength that we've seen, right? So we saw some really nice strength on chips, and this day is what did it for me, and it really hurts because I was in this thing from Thursday right here. Thursday, rode it higher, some really nice profits. This day on Wednesday, it sort of hurt because I was watching this previous low around 162, and I was hoping to see it hold above 162 right here. So I was hoping to see this previous level hold. Now, you can see we broke below that, right? And when it broke below, I took my profits on the trade because I didn't know whether Qualcomm was going to reject off previous highs, if the Nasdaq was going to start to weaken, right? This is all hindsight, right? So it's impossible for me to know whether this was going to actually bounce back higher. So I took my profits on this breakdown. That's what I do. I take profits on technical breakdowns, levels that I don't want to see it break below. When I see it, I usually close it. So that was what I did, right? And unfortunately, I was a little bit wrong by the level because what I maybe could have gave it was these previous highs right back here, right? Maybe I could have gave it a little bit more here. But of course, that's hindsight again. So you can see I took my profits on the breakdown of 162. I should have held it a little bit longer. Of course, in hindsight, it's very easy to say. And I took about a $200-300 profit. It was only like 10% profits. And you can see what happened since. So my contracts that I sold for $4 are now worth like 20. So that hurts, man. That hurts a lot. But that's what happens, right? That's what happens. That is what happens. Now, I should have been a little bit more, into going back into it. But again, I just this last week I just been a little bit careful. So my timidness, my risk management didn't get me back into this play. And this is just a good example, guys. If you're listening to the stream, this is just an example of stuff that will happen as you're trading. You can't get too worked up about it, right? Unfortunately, that would have been awesome. I would have definitely I probably would have been done trading for the year if I hit that one. But the right thing, guys, is we saw the right thing. We were right about the move, and you can always come back as long as you follow your strategy. You can come back, right? Qualcomm could have tanked. It could have went all the way back down to earnings levels, and I would have been in a very different situation right now, right? So I'd rather follow my strategy than not follow it and be just dead wrong, right? So that's Qualcomm. There's probably more upside here. If chips are hot, if Nvidia's earnings is good, I would still watch Qualcomm. Qualcomm's awesome, guys. It's a great, great stock, and it's definitely overlooked. Definitely overlooked. I mean, look at this chart. Boom. Unfortunate. Anyways, Twilio. Maybe this is the next one that we catch. Twilio. I really like what Twilio's doing right now. Let's go to the daily chart. So Twilio moved down on earnings. It hasn't been the best chart as of late. It's sort of been choppy, but it definitely returns pretty nicely off these lows, right? So this bounce was about a 50% bounce. And I love what Twilio's doing right now, guys. Twilio looks to be putting in a higher low as of right now. So Twilio, higher low this morning. You guys can see, or over the last few days, you can see push higher, rejection at this 316 level. That's where it started to get rejected. A little bit of a quadruple top there. Pulled back, higher low, and now I need to see this break through this level. That is my key. If I can see this break through this 316, that is what I'm going to be looking for. So you got a little bit of a push higher. I want to see this 316 break. If this breaks out, I think Twilio is on its way back up. And I think what it probably tries to do is it probably tries to fill this gap. So that is back towards 342. So I believe that if Twilio can get above that 316, then I think that maybe Twilio can get up into this gap fill area. So that is what I'm going to be watching today, guys. This would definitely be a longer-term dated contract if I was to buy it. I would buy some Januaries, maybe even some Februaries here, and let this thing ride out. But I need to see this breakout. I need to see it hold, and then I'll go ahead and take it, right? So I need to see that happen first before I could. Getting in here, this could easily do this, right? If you get in here, it could do this, and it could do this. So why get in here? Because you want to risk it and get in a few points too early. So I would like to see it do a little bit more personally. If you're in it already, great. I mean, if I'm not bad talking anyone that's in it. But I personally would want to see something like this, and I want to see a break above 316.75. So that's Twilio. I would definitely keep that on your watch. Snow. I don't know, guys. Snow just, I can't, I don't even know why I put it on the screen. Snow is just an absolutely insane move. I just wanted to bring it up, really. I just wanted to show it to you guys. I have no technicals for you here. This thing just continues to ride higher on a daily basis. So really all you could do is watch the previous day levels. So watch previous open and Monday's close. Today you watch maybe watch that 394 level. You have these previous closes. You have today's or yesterday's close of 401.89. So I would just watch those previous levels as the day goes on. But daily chart, this one hurts sort of too because I was in this thing pre-earnings back here. So wow. But yeah, snow. Keep an eye on it, guys. Just bringing it up. Excuse me. All right, Costco. Last one. Costco. We were talking about this thing. Go and bring it up here. Costco looked really good on the charts. Let me see if I can find it. While I look, you guys can go ahead and press that like button for me. That'd be great. Here we go. So we talked a little bit about this Costco setup. It looked sort of like this, right? It was sort of pulling back down. I know that's really small. It was pulling back down to the 20, or this was to the 9 EMA on the daily chart, actually. So you can see a little bit of a flag pattern back to the 9 EMA on the daily. And not only that, I'll go ahead and pull up the actual technicals here. Now, not only was it that, if I go to the hourly chart, you guys can see, look at how this thing pulled back to this level, made a little bit of a double bottom, started to move off of it. As soon as I started to move it, saw it move off that double bottom, I really, really liked it. So here was the hourly at the time. I'll pull it up. Here was the hourly at the time, right? So you can see how we pulled back, double bottom, started to push off that double bottom. Very, very nice. I really like to see that. Excuse me. Got phlegm in the old throat. And the rest is history, right? So you can see what happened after that. Here's the screen. You guys can see we pushed higher. And we are at all-time high. So Beautiful. Costco, awesome setup. I just wanted to show it to you guys because these are setups that you want to look for. Beautiful little double bottom. Mike, you missed it. Oh, man. Mike was actually the one that brought this up to me. So shout out to Mike Newman. But yeah, daily chart looks fantastic. Mike, you are spot on, man. And that's all you can take away, right? You can look for this setup again somewhere else. But Costco, beautiful play. 528 looks great. Costco never goes down. All right. So, excuse me. If you guys could, press the like button for me. If you're new here, subscribe. I have a few more charts to go over, and then we're jumping out of here. So, we got Oracle, U, Overstock, I think. OSTK, I think is Overstock. VIX, someone wants to look at the VIX. Not sure why. And TM. So those we're going to look at. So, let's go ahead and start with Oracle. Oracle, I would like to see Oracle back down to this level, honestly, right down to 92. But it looks like you're not quite going to get to 92. It looks like you're starting to pop. Because if this would have happened at 92, that would have been great, right? Because that's a beautiful little retest of previous highs at 92. Yeah, I'll go over Facebook. So it looks like you just be careful of this. FPS Johnny, I think you're the one that messaged me about this. So just watch this 20 SMA. It looks like that really got rejected here. The 20 SMA on the daily. Look at that rejection there. So watch that 20 SMA as potential resistance. But I would really like to see Oracle come back down to here. That would make me more confident because look at what it did last time. See how it came back down to here and then bounced previous highs? This, it might go early without me, right? If it goes here, I'm not going to play it. But if it does a little head fake and then comes back down, then maybe I'll be interested. Because I would like to see it back to that level. This is a situation, guys, where this is a situation where I try my best to stick to my strategy. Because I just don't feel as good buying this play without seeing that actual retest of 92. In my head, I just don't like it as much because I want to see that retest of 92. Something just gives me a little bit of uncertainty when I see it starting to push higher without retesting. Now, I could be wrong. This could still go, right, without the retest. That's very possible. If it was to retest and then go, I would be much more comfortable. That's just what I'll say. That's just me personally. That's how I trade. That's not always right. This could easily go, guys, without the retest. But I would have wanted to see that retest before we go. So just me personally, that's what I'll say about it. That's what I'm here to tell you my opinion, right? I'm not going to make up things. So you, I wouldn't be buying you here. I'd want to see a pullback to 175. I already talked about this. So I would want to see that pullback to 175. The 4 hour looks pretty good. Maybe if you can get a 20 SMA pullback, you guys can see it pulls back to that 20 SMA pretty nice. For me personally, I want it back here, right? This is where I want you. Back at the 175 level. That's where I'd want to pick it up. So just me personally, you asked my opinion, that's what I give you. OSTK, Overstock. I don't know. Overstock's a little bit of a funny name. Very volatile. But it definitely looks pretty good. If you go to the weekly chart, you can see that it looks like it's starting to break out a little bit here. Maybe watch these previous highs at like 111, 110. Watch these previous highs. I would watch that as resistance. If it gets through that, maybe you get up to this previous high of 125. That's what I'll say. Guys, the VIX is mean reverting. I don't know if anyone is aware of that. I'm sure many of you are, but if you aren't, the VIX is mean reverting. That means that the VIX is always going to come back to its mean. If there's a mean price, which is like the average, basically, the mean, MEAN, the mean price, it always reverts back to the mean. So I don't really pay attention to the VIX unless I start to see it, pop higher. I don't try to be like, oh, the VIX is up a point, time to panic a little bit. When I start to see the VIX spiking above the 20 handle, that's when I think a lot of people start to get concerned. So as long as the VIX is below 20, I really don't think there's much concern. But I know some people like to really watch the VIX. I think it just clouds your judgment a little bit because, excuse me, last week, if you were just watching the VIX, obviously it pushed higher when the market fell. And if you thought this was the next VIX spike to over 20, then you obviously got screwed, right? So I just, I got phlegm in my throat, guys. I can't get it out. But yeah, VIX is mean reverting. It always comes back to the mean. If it's over 20, that's when people start to get a little concerned. This is just a risk. I don't know who recommended this, but this is not a stock that I would trade. This is a signal to the market. This is just a way to, get a feel for how the market's doing. It's a panic indicator. That's really what it is. Toyota. I've never traded Toyota. Toyota looks very spotty here on the daily chart. I wouldn't trade a stock that has gaps like this. So, yeah, I would just be very careful here. Toyota looks a little bit, looks like it's starting to hit like a little bit of a channel here. So maybe you get that push, but yeah, this is not a stock I would trade, guys. Look at these gaps. These are nasty. So yeah, not my style here, but maybe 187, you see a breakout above. Oh, let's quickly go over Facebook and then we're out of here. Facebook. So Facebook, it got above our 345 yesterday. Very nice push. On Monday. Very nice push. Started rejected. Pulled back. Starting to consolidate a little bit. But I like this hold right here at 341. You guys can see, if I go to the hourly chart, you can see that's a little bit of a nice little hold there at previous highs. So you can see 341. I like that right there. I was watching this level yesterday. I like how it held it. So if it holds there, great. If not, maybe it comes back down to like this 338. But I think this thing is on a nice little run here. I think it's on a nice little uptrend. You guys can see this is the last this is the last 2 weeks. And I think it's making waves, right? I think it's heating up here. So it's definitely in an uptrend. I know it's a little bit volatile. I know some days you're going to see some downside, but I'm pretty positive on this. I definitely know that 345 resistance is tough. You can see it starting to reject it once again. Here's the 4 hour. So that 345 looks a little tough. We need to see it. Facebook needs to get above it and hold above it. That's the key. If that happens, then I think you're off. So that's what I'd be watching. All right, guys, it's 8:52. I got to get out of here. If you guys could, press that like button for me. Let's get to like 600 likes. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for supporting the stream. I know the last few days have been a little crappy. I haven't felt the best. But thank you for sticking in there with me. I appreciate you guys' support. If you guys could, press the like button. Subscribe if you're new here. Shout out to MSI, the sponsor of our stream. We're actually going to do an MSI giveaway. This thing's actually pretty cool. This holds your phone. It's a little phone holder. So we're going to do a giveaway with a bunch of MSI stuff here soon. Make sure to stay updated. It's probably going to be for the live stream. So hope you guys enjoy it. Have a great trading day. Make sure to never put yourself in a very bad position. Always protect your capital. It's coming up to the end of the year, guys. So, try to do some capital preservation to the end of the year. And I hope to see you in the next stream. Peace out, guys.